DevOps. Okay. Let's take an example. I have got one. I have got a requirement from my client.
Your voice is
The
breaking.
requirement from my client is asked. Okay. Am I clear now? Is it for everyone?
Yeah.
Is it clear now?
Yes, yes. Can go ahead.
Okay. Okay. I have got a requirement. My requirement is my client is asking to build an application. This application should be the purpose of this application should be like the customers, the passengers can book the tickets. Assume right now there is no IRCTC. So what is IRCTC? IRCTC is useful, like it is used to book the tickets from source place to destination place. So assume we don't have any IRCTC application as of now. So my client is asking to build an application. That application name is IRCTC. So what I'll do, I'll discuss the IT manager. What IT manager will do? The IT manager will discuss with his teammates. So he will what is the budget, how much time it will take to build this application, how much resources are required. All these details, everything here, we do everything design. Once he is ready with his design and his presentation, he will inform to his client. He'll inform to his client like so and so people we are going to work, these many resources, and this is the budget, and this will be the duration. He'll inform everything. If client approves like okay, we can go proceed ahead, like then the IT manager will start the things. So here, the first thing, the first thing is design. So what these people will do, these people first they will design. So what should be the flow? For front end, which language, which technology we need to use. For back end, which technology we need to use. For scripting language, we can proceed. Like what is the database? Here in this phase, this is the first phase. In this phase, they will design all the things. So once they are ready with, like once they are okay with this design, and the next stage is development. So in this stage, what the developers will do, the developers will in this stage, the developers will, they write the code. The developers will write the code. Code is nothing but source code. If they are developing the application in Java language, they design their application, they write the code in Java language. This code is in binary, like this code is in source code format, means it is human understandable. Okay, once this code is done, once the developers has written their code, once they are like, if they are not getting any errors, they are ready with their code. And what is the next phase? They need to build this code. They need to build this code. What is meant by build? Building means they will convert this source code to binary code. See, whatever the code you write in source code, the computer will not understand. The machine will not understand this code. So what we'll do? We will build. We will do the build. So using build, if we do build, this source code will be converted to binary language code. Binary language means like 0, 1, 0, 0. In this format, the code will be converted to this format. The computer will understand only this binary format of code. Okay. In this build phase, we will compile the code. Okay. Once build is done, everything is good. We are okay with the build. Then the next phase is test. Here the testers will do, they'll write all the test cases. To run this application, they'll write all the different test cases. Like source is some Hyderabad. Destination, he has to travel to Mumbai. If the ticket booking is working fine from Hyderabad to Mumbai, everything is, this is one test case. If it is working fine, like they will test all the test cases, they will do. If everything is good, if all the test cases are running fine, then the next stage is QA. QA is nothing but it is a quality assurance. In this phase, what they will do, they will check the code quality. They will check the code quality. See, whether you are writing the code is not important. Like how you are writing the code is important. To print hello world, you can write in 2 lines of code, and you can write the same thing to print. You can write in 10 lines of the code. But which one is more efficiency? This is the more efficiency, 2 lines. The compiler will take milliseconds of time to compile this code, 2 lines of code, comparing to this one. So here also, what this QA will do, code check here. It check the code quality in this phase, whether your application is working or not, but it should work with efficiency, more efficiency. Here in QA check, it will do. Like once everything is done here, I have built my product. Once I build my product, here I get a dot var. If your application is like built in Java, you will get a dot jar. Like you will get a product like dot var, like dot jar or dot var. This is your final product. This is your final product. So you need to deliver this product. So assume your client is a technical person. If your client is technical person, then what you will do, you will deliver this product to him, either dot jar or dot var. This is the final product you will deliver to him. Here you will deliver. If he's a technical guy, the client will install this, like the client will deploy. If he's a non-technical, the client don't know how to deploy also, then what you will do, here comes the operations team. Here comes the operations team. If the client is non-technical guy, then the 6th step is he need to deploy. So here the operations team, what they will do, they will take this product, whatever the product which was developed by developers, these developers, they take this product and they deploy this product in client's machine. They deploy this product in client's machine. Once they deploy this product in client's machine, the next stage is like they need to do maintenance. See, they visit client's place and they stay there for 1 month or 2 months, 3 months, like that. They train to everything, each and everything to client, like this is how you need to work with your application. They explain everything. So once maintenance is done, they will monitor. Monitoring means they'll watch, they observe whether their servers are running fine 24/7, because the application should not go like let down. We should not let this application down. Means we need to monitor these servers like 24/7. It should run successfully. If it is running 24/7 without any errors, like the application will run smoothly. If you face any issues in the servers, then what these people do, operations people, they will troubleshoot. They will troubleshoot to resolve the problems. Like they explain each and everything, and once the application is running fine, so this is like project will be completed. Project will be completed. The client will give party, like that's it. You finish this project. Here, if you observe, this phase, here we have 2 phases, development phase and operations phase. This development here, what development will doing in this development, there are different teams involved, like to code, developers involved in code, build team, they involve like to do the build, testing team will involve to test, and finally this quality check, code quality check, this QA team. So these people are involving to build a, like to develop a product, final product. Once this product is developed, then what this operations team is doing, operations team, they are responsible for to go your project live. What they will do, they will take this product and they deploy this product in client machine, right? They deploy this product in client machine. Once they deploy the product in client machine, your project will be in live mode. Like the customers across the globe, they can access your application. Once you deploy this product in your client's machine, the project will be in live mode, right? So here you see many phases like design, code, build, test, QA, deploy, maintenance, monitor. So it is a cycle. So whatever project you get, you need to follow these steps. Okay. So you will get one more project, you will get one more project. Whatever project you get, you need to follow all these steps. So this cycle, this life cycle, what we call as SDLC. That is nothing but software development life cycle. So in this software development life cycle, this method, the method which I have shown here, this method we call as waterfall method. So nowadays, companies are not using this waterfall method. This waterfall method they used in 90s, like in 95, in earlier 2000s, they use this waterfall method because we have like a lot of disadvantage using this waterfall method. These drawbacks are like, see, until you develop the code, the build team has to wait. Until you build the code, the test team has to wait. Like until you test, the QA team has to wait. And finally, the product .var or .jar, like this, the final product is developed. Then here comes the operations team. The operations team involved in deploying this application. Like here, it takes a lot of time to deploy. See, because until this whole process completed, the operations persons, they don't have any work. They can't deploy the application. So it takes a lot of time to deliver the application. Like assume here it is taking 1 year of time to deliver this IRCTC application. So these are the issues like we have in a waterfall model. To overcome these issues, like we have another one, that is agile methodology. So we will see what is agile methodology. In agile methodology, we take the request, the requirements will be received in the form of sprints. We'll get the requirements in the form of sprints. Means the client will ask you in the first sprint, this is sprint 1. In sprint 1, you will have the requirements like, I need login page. I need like a booking page. I need submit order, like submit order. I need these requirements, he will say. So for the sprint 1, what developers will do, they design, then they develop the code, they write the code, then they build it, then they do test. Once testing is done, they do QA, quality check. That's it. In the sprint 2, they receive again new requirements. Here, the client will ask, see, you can use the net banking section, like you can include net banking, this feature. You can add this feature in my application. The advantage here is, compared to waterfall method, here the client can come with different requirements. Like after 2 months, he can come with one more requirement, so that these people, the developers, they can work for the latest requirements. Whereas in waterfall, initially he will give one requirement, right? With that requirement only, the entire application has been built. But here, he will get multiple sprints. In multiple sprints, he will get with the latest requirements. He asks net banking section. He asks a different GUI, graphical user interface. Like again, in the second phase also, what they will do for the second sprint also, they will design, develop, build, test, QA, quality check. Again, like this one, they will get sprint 3, sprint 4. Okay. So finally in sprint 4 also, the final requirement, they got everything. Like he wants to add like a UPI, phone pay. He want to add phone pay, Google Pay also to book their tickets. He want to add phone pay, Google Pay. So finally in sprint 4, the developers will add all these sections like Beam UPI, Google Pay. So in the final phase, once the 4 sprints, sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, sprint 4 is ready, then here comes the final stage called deployment. Here comes the operations team. Okay. Operations team, once the sprint 1 is ready, sprint 2 is ready, sprint 3 is ready, sprint 4 is ready, then operations team will come and finally they will deploy sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, sprint 4 here. So here also, compared to waterfall method, the advantage is He can take the latest requirements. He can collect the latest requirements from the client. But the disadvantage here is like delivery is slow. The application he's delivering is at the final stage only, even though he's building the application for the sprint one here itself, for the sprint two application here itself, but he's not deploying this sprint one. Here he's not deploying sprint two. In the final stage only, he's deploying all the sprints. So here the application is delivering very slow. So compared to waterfall method, the advantage we have in agile methodology is he can collect the requirements in the form of sprints. He can work in the sprints, like sprint one he'll get in the first month, in the second month he'll get one more sprint, like that. But at the end of the 12th month only, he will deploy the application in client. To overcome these issues in agile methodology, we have an advanced concept called DevOps. So DevOps concept here, what we will do means, similarly, here we design. Next, here we write the code. Then build. Test. QA. Once QA is done, then finally here we deploy. We deploy. The sprint one is completed. Then they work on sprint two. Again on sprint two, what we do? We design. We code, write the code. We build, test, QA. Once QA is done, again immediately, once sprint 2 is ready, again we'll deploy. So earlier in agile methodology, we are not deploying sprint wise. We are deploying once all the sprints are completed, only we are deploying. Here in DevOps methodology, we are deploying continuously. Here we have a concept called CI and CD. Means CI means continuous integration and continuous delivery. That means here, see, whenever the developers write the code, immediately they do build. Once the build is completed, immediately test. Once test is done, then immediately they'll check for the code. Then once QA code check is done, they'll deploy. They deploy the sprint one. Then they work on sprint two continuously, like code, writing the code, building, testing, QA, quality check, then deploy. Like that, it happens continuously. So we call it as continuous integration and continuous deployment. We are achieving these things, CI and CD, because of here, because we are using tools, and at each stage we are using different tools. These tools are like for code, to write the code, we are not using any tools. They are manual. Even after 50 years also, we have to write the code manually only. There will not be any automation tool. And at the build stage, we are using Maven tool to build. Earlier, we used to have build teams, they do manually, but like now we are in DevOps tool. In DevOps, we have Maven build tool. And in testing, we use Selenium. For QA, we can use for code quality check like JUnit or like that. We can use different code quality, JFrog, Checkstyle. Different tools we have, depends on companies. And for a deployment level, at deployment, we can use Docker, Kubernetes. These tools are involved at deployment level. And at monitoring, for monitoring, we use Nagios, CloudWatch. So here, Jenkins is the most important tool. We connect all these build tools, like we connect Maven, Selenium, everything to Jenkins. This Jenkins is like a central thing. it's like a framework. For this framework, we connect all these tools, and we are taking responsible to deliver the application as soon as possible. Using this Jenkins, we are continuously integrating the tools, and we are continuously delivering them, so that we can deliver our application to the client as soon as possible. To achieve these things, all these tools are used, like Maven, Selenium, JFrog, Checkstyle, Docker, Kubernetes, Jenkins. So that's why DevOps is more popular, because we are automating everything, right? That the terminology DevOps came from here in the development dev, and in the operations team OP. Okay, here DevOps people are involved in development, and they are involved in operations level. In development phase, they involve in build, they involve in QA, and at the operations level, they involve in deployment, they involve in monitoring. Right? So these are the different phases in DevOps, and we use different tools. Two slides. In waterfall methodology, see, all these are different life cycles in SDLC. At waterfall methodology, we design the code. Here we design, then here we write the code, here we test. Then finally, at the end of 12th month, assume, like at the end of 12th month, you are deploying your application in client's machine. In Agile, even if you are ready with code at sprint 1 only, sprint 1 is ready. Here sprint 2 is ready. Here sprint 3 is ready. Here sprint 4 is ready. But you are not delivering all this, you are not deploying. And you will wait until the final phase, and here you are deploying your application in client's machine. So what is the difference here? Here also you are deploying at 12th month. Here also you are deploying at 12th month. But the only difference is you work on sprints. You can collect the latest requirements from the client, so that he will not get any old version of application. According to like his ideas and thoughts, he will give the requirements, and based on that requirements, you work on the sprints here. And coming to DevOps, you are ready with your designing part. You write the code, you test the code, and you deploy here itself. You deploy sprint 1. This sprint 1 will be deployed at the 3rd month only. In the 3rd month itself, you launch your application into the market. The IRCTC application will launch into the market at the 3rd month itself. The fast delivery. You can achieve fast delivery using DevOps. Like, why you are achieving this fast delivery? How can you are achieving means using tools. Everything you are automating using DevOps tools. That's why the fastest delivery, CI and CD, you're continuously delivering. And at this phase also, you are deploying. Here also you are deploying. Here you are deploying. Here you are deploying. And the final stage, you deploy all the features, complete everything you deploy. So this is how you can achieve your things, like fastest delivery. These are the achievements. Like you can fastly you can deliver, because of we are continuously delivering, and you can achieve higher quality because we are using tools. And lesser spending. Why we are spending less means, earlier we used to have build team separately, and QA team separately, monitoring team separately, and maintenance team is separate, deployment team is separate. But now the companies are looking for only one team, and that team is DevOps team, who can replace all these teams. So that's why it is lesser spending. Here, if they spend, the budget is like 2 crores, annual budget is 2 crores for all these teams to pay the salaries. Here, the companies who are spending only 1 crore for 5 people. Here, if the 20 people are working, what they are doing, they're removing all these 20 people, then looking for only 5 people who can work for all these tools. They're spending 1 crore, so more salaries for DevOps. This is the reason. And reduced outages. Why reduced outages means your servers will be monitored continuously with help of tools. Earlier, you used to monitor manually, but now you are using CloudWatch, you are using Nagios. What these tools will do, these tools will monitor your servers. And if it feels like your server is going down, then immediately it will trigger a notification. So based on this notification, what the developer or the operations people will do, they will be alert and they can fix proactively, they can work proactively. So there will be reduced outages so that your application will not go down. So here in DevOps, so what is the link? What is the connection between DevOps and AWS? If you want to work with DevOps, like you need to host your application, right? You need to host your application, but where you are going to host your application? See, finally, IRCTC application, you are going to deploy in client's machine. But what is that client's machine? That client machine will be obviously in a cloud. So if you are going with cloud, AWS cloud, you will deploy your application .var file or .jar file. This will be deployed in AWS cloud, right? So that's why it is always like an added advantage to learn AWS with DevOps. If you learn only DevOps, you will have only like 60% to 70% opportunities. If you learn only AWS, you will have around 50% opportunities. But the combination of AWS and DevOps is like 100% opportunities you always have. And the prerequisite is Linux. Why? Because see, I have said all the tools like Git, Maven, Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes. So where you are going to install all these tools, you need to install all these tools in Linux server. So if you want to install and if you want to work with these tools, then you need to learn Linux, right? So Linux is a prerequisite to start with AWS and DevOps. And you no need to have any prior IT experience to start with AWS or DevOps, because here C, Java, all these things are not required. Any programming language is not required. If you know scripting language, the scripting language also, if you know the syntax and partially 50%, that's more than enough. You can survive in DevOps. Like here, you don't need to have any programming languages. There are a lot of opportunities. Like even experienced people, they can, like once the course is finished, they can easily keep 2 years of experience and they can switch their technology. Will get like more pay if you switch your technology to DevOps with AWS. So that is the current market for AWS and DevOps. Please ask if you have any doubts.
Hey, hi, Arvind. Ganesh here.
Yeah, hi.
Arvind, you're telling from testing perspective,
No.
correct me if no, for DevOps, you're telling like from testing perspective, we need to use like a Selenium automation tool, right?
No, for testing, always there will be separate team. Testing is not involved, and like this testing will not come under DevOps.
Okay.
Okay, we use for testing like Selenium tool, right? This is an entirely separate team. This testing will not come under DevOps. Like build comes under DevOps, QA, and deployment, monitoring, like maintenance. These things comes under DevOps.
Okay, fine. Yeah, and one more thing, in DevOps, you're telling like design, code, build, test, QA after deployment, right? Yeah. So basically, in other languages, like if code completed, then only they will deploy in that. I mean that code and QAs they are ready to test. And if they found any issues regarding the testing and all, again, developers they are ready to do some changes based on their requirement. After that, they are developing that code again. They are ready to test, right?
Yes. Yes, correct.
In DevOps, you're telling like deploy will be happens in last point of view. Is it in DevOps only you're telling?
No. I'm not telling deployment will not come in a last phase. See, here these are the different stages, and here these are the different stages. We integrate Jenkins with build tool, test tool, QA tool, deploy, releases, monitor. See, as and when the developers write the code, then immediately the build will be triggered. Like what they will do, the developers will push their code to See, the developers will push their code to GitHub repository. Once they push their code to GitHub repository, then immediately a build will be triggered in Jenkins. In Jenkins, a build will be triggered immediately. If the build is failed, then immediately a notification will be sent from Jenkins to the developers saying your build has failed. Please recheck. So what developers will do immediately, they fix the code and they will push the code again to GitHub repository, and again the build will be triggered. And the next time here the build is success now. Once the build is success, then it will send to testing team. What Jenkins will do? Jenkins will send the code to testing, and the testing. Can you please go on mute? Once testing is done, I'm muting. Once testing is done, here immediately Jenkins will send the code for quality check. Once your code is ready to deploy, then immediately Jenkins will deploy your code to the deployment tools called Docker, Kubernetes. Here in these tools, it will deploy. So your sprint one will be deployed like this. Again, continuously, the developers will work on sprint 2 like that. They will not wait until the final sprints. Here, as and when the code is ready, at sprints wise, they will deliver. So here we are achieving everything fast using all these automation tools. I will show you the definition of DevOps. See, what is DevOps? See, DevOps is set of practices that combines software development and IT operations. Software development is nothing but the phases which comes under development. Okay, like code, build, test, QA. These phases comes under development. And IT operations. IT operations means in operations teams, deployment, maintenance, monitoring. So a DevOps is a set of practices that combines this software development and IT operations. It aims to shorten the system's development lifecycle. That is nothing but SDLC. It aims to shorten software development lifecycle and provide continuous delivery with high software quality. Here it is aiming to deliver the product continuously, like using this concept continuous delivery. It provides continuous delivery and with high software quality. Why high software quality? Because here it is using everything tools. All the DevOps tools are used. Like everything is automated. That's why we are achieving with high software quality. DevOps is a complementary with agile software. So it is nothing but DevOps is an advanced concept of agile methodology. See, DevOps is a complementary with agile software development. Several DevOps aspects came from the agile methodology. Here everything is same, but the only difference is in DevOps, we are continuously delivering. Here we are delivering only at end of the final stage, like one sprint 2, sprint 3, all the sprints are ready. And after completing all the sprints, then here we are delivering. But here we are continuously delivering. That is the only difference between Agile and DevOps. Is it clear?
Yeah, Arvind. Yeah, understood. Thank you.
Okay. Any doubts?
Hi, Arvind. This is Amulya.
Yeah, hi, Amulya.
Is there any other tool available other than Jenkins?
Yeah, we have many tools in the market like TeamCity, Circle CI, Jenkins. But out of like these tools, like most of the companies, 90% of the companies go with Jenkins. This is the most popular tool, Jenkins. TeamCity is like second. This comes second. And Circle CI, like mostly they won't use, but still some companies use. But this is most popular Jenkins.
Okay. What is the role of Kubernetes in DevOps? Like
See,
this is
Kubernetes, it comes at deployment stage. So what is deployment stage? Once your application is ready, once your application was built completely, you need to deploy this, right? You need to deploy this application in one platform. That platform is Kubernetes. You can go with Kubernetes or you can go with Docker. These two are deployment tools. Okay,
okay.
understood?
My question is, if we wanna learn Jenkins, means we need to learn all these tools like the build tool, QA tool, deployment tool, maintenance tool. All this knowledge we should gain.
Yes, definitely. See, if you want to attend a DevOps interview, they will check for at least one build tool. They'll check for and source code management tool, that is Git, right? They check for source code management. You should have knowledge on Git. Git is nothing but a tool where it is used to push your code. Once developers are ready with their code, they will push their code to Git repository. So you need to know Git, and you should have knowledge on deployment tools like Docker, Kubernetes, like these tools. And you should have CI/CD tools like Jenkins. Okay, you should know like monitoring tools like CloudWatch, Nagios, Datadog. Like these are the different tools used. So depends company to company, it varies. Some companies use CloudWatch, some companies use Nagios for monitoring. Like it depends. Okay.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, guys, please ask if you have any doubts.
So you're covering all these tools, right, in this course?
Yes, yes. We're covering all these tools. Sure. See, we start with Linux commands first, because as I said, Linux is a prerequisite. And I said, right, I'm going to launch like Git, Jenkins. We are going to work with Git, Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes. So I should launch all these servers where in Linux servers, right? But from where can I launch these Linux servers? See, these tools having dependency on this Linux server. And Linux server is also having dependency, right? I should launch this Linux server from where? From cloud. Which cloud? AWS cloud. So I start with AWS basics. So the things like AWS basics you should know, like how to launch a server, how to work on a server. So what are the services required to learn in DevOps? Those services I teach here in DevOps part. And then I start with actual DevOps course content. This is the actual DevOps course content. Git. This Git tool is used to push the code into this Git repository. And this is a Docker. Docker, it comes at the deployment stage. This comes at build stage. Jenkins is CI/CD tool. And this is configuration management and Apache server, Tomcat server.
So each and every stage, like design, result, and develop result, build result, they'll give to DevOps person, right? Like they will deploy, they will connect to Jenkins.
Yes, but here in our course, so nothing to explain regarding design. Design is a high level management. Okay.
Okay.
Here we start from build, from coding. Like we don't any code. Like once the developers are ready with their code, then what comes next? They need to push their code to GitHub repository. So from this stage, we start the course contents. Once we learn Git, then build a tool, Maven, like that, so on. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So these are the DevOps course contents we have. And So these are the concepts we are going to teach in AWS. So like introduction to AWS Cloud, today's class, the demo class we discussed today, and the global infrastructure, like in different regions, in which like what are the regions AWS has set up its data centers, how to launch a Windows server, how to launch a Linux server, and how to install this Apache server in Linux, load balancer, like multiple concepts, like different concepts are there. So we are going to discuss all this VPC. In AWS, Amazon Web Services, we have thousands of services. Like AWS always updates their service. Like every 1 week they launch one new service. But we no need to learn all these services. Even companies also don't look for all the services. The most important, like top 25 priority services which are useful, only these services we are going to teach. These are the services which are used. So if you are perfect in these services, 100% I can give assurance that you can crack the certification. Because I'm going to explain complete theory first. Once I done with theory, then I show you practicals. Once I explain the concept, for example, the CloudFormation concept, once I explain in theory, then I show you practicals. So like this is the way of teaching: theory, practicals. I will